Conceive, believe, achieve.
This is former UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael Bisping.
Paddy the Baddy here. You're listening to Combat Sports UK.
And you're watching Combat Sports UK.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined today by the one and only Shanelle "The Nightmare" Dyer, one of the UK's hottest prospects, and recently joined the PFL. Shanelle, how are you?
I'm great, thanks. Thanks for having me on the show.
No, it's our pleasure. Thank you for giving us your time. So, you've signed with the PFL now. You're due to make the debut 30th of September?
Yeah.
Live in Paris.
Yeah, back in Paris. Paris is amazing. Can't wait.
Yeah, so how's it feel to be opening up the card there?
I literally feel it's literally an honor. Like, even just seeing the card like firsthand was like, I was over the moon. And seeing like all the names in the card, obviously the likes of Cedric Doom, and even the people in the semi-finals. My teammate Simin Pao, he's on the card as well, which is great. And just seeing like the level of talent on the card and my name in the cards is literally unbelievable. And I'm really honoured and grateful I get to be part of such an experience.
I mean, I'm assuming obviously with it being the debut, you'd have been happy just to be starting anywhere. But does it make it all that bit more special to be, jumping onto a big card like that?
100%. It's literally like I'm the type of fighter that rises up to the occasion, and this is one of the biggest cards in Europe of the year so far. So I'm ecstatic to be on the card, and I know that I get to fight my best because I rise to the occasion. It's a big occasion, so I get to show people what I can actually do in front of the big crowd.
Yeah, I'm sure you're excited for it. So Tell me, what inspired a 10-year-old Shanelle Dyer to walk into a Muay Thai club? What was the inspiration there? What was the reasoning?
Just like keeping busy, basically. Like, I was always an active person, like from young age. My whole family was active. My dad, he was really involved in sports, and he really bestowed that into us from a young age. We did so many different sports. We did swimming, football, running, athletics, so many different sports, and nothing really stuck until I tried martial arts for the first time, and it was so challenging that I just loved it. I'm the type of person, if something's challenging, I want to rise and I want to beat this challenge. And martial arts, especially being like I was one of kind of the only girls in the gym, I just wanted to better myself and just keep discipline and rise above that challenge, which I did.
Okay, well, moving into the next question, and perfectly there in the background. For some of the viewers that may not be aware, talk to us about your decorated amateur career and what all those medals are for. Not each one, of course, but we've not got long for all that. But...
long. So I started Muay Thai when I was about 9 years old. I think I won my first belt when I was about 10 years old. It was the English Championship. And I won a couple of belts when I was at 9, 10, 11, including the IFMA World Championship. So I actually flew to Turkey for the World Championship when I was 12, and I won that. So I've been fighting all over the place in Muay Thai. I've had more than 150 plus Muay Thai fights, so I'm really experienced in that aspect in my striking game. I fought so many different types of people. I won so many different medals, belts, trophies along my career, and I've been in striking for about 10 years now. So I've just been racking up the experience, and it's really paid dividends to my MMA career now. I'm winning. I won a lot of my MMA fights in amateur due to my extensive striking career. So, and I won Cage Warriors Academy belts. I've won ECMMA international belts. I've won prestigious fights in my MMA amateur career because of my extensive Muay Thai career.
Mm-hmm. So you made the switch, obviously, now to the professional ranks. You're training under Brad Pickett, is that right?
Yeah, GB Top Team.
So talk to me about training with Brad. What's the relationship like there? And obviously, being in camp with somebody like that.
Yeah, Brad's amazing. Like, Brad, he's literally a legend in the game. So I only started really watching MMA about 2 years ago, but even I still knew who Brad Pickett was. He's literally a legend in the game. He's one of the pioneers of British MMA. So like, even just seeing his experience, he teaches a lot of the classes. He's there every day in the gym, and he literally just floods the whole gym with his experience. I can literally go up to him, ask questions, and he gives us real life scenarios of what happened to him in fights to back up what he's teaching in the classroom. It's that I'm really grateful for that. So just having him in my corner, I can put my trust in him because he's been there, he's done that, he knows the ins and outs. So I really feel comfortable and trust him a lot in my professional career.
Yeah, how important is that? I mean, obviously having someone that's been there and done it, got the t-shirt, does it add to that trust value between, the fighter and the coach, knowing that they've been through everything you're going to go through?
Yeah, 100%. Because that's one of my things when I turned pro. Because it's literally my career is the one thing I want to do in my life. So everything I wanted to do, I have to be certain with. So I don't want to have really any guesswork. And there's no guesswork with Brad. He's been there. He's done that from experience, from life experience. So he really portrays that when he walks around the gym, that he knows how to get from A to B. So if I just follow what he says, I'm gonna reach the top 100%.
Perfect. So the PFL, obviously the PFL is just going from strength to strength. People are becoming more aware. People are becoming more involved with, especially the season format. Obviously you're looking to jump into the PFL Europe for next year potentially. What was the inspiration behind the PFL? Was it a case of they came knocking and it was something you're interested in, or was it something in particular that the PFL do that maybe caught your attention?
Yeah, so the beginning of this year, about 5-6 months ago, I didn't even have my first pro fight yet. Me, my manager, my coach just sat down. We really talked about routes of going, and we didn't really want to sign anything major. We just kind of wanted to do one-off fights. So we had one-off fight in Hexagon, we had one-off fight on FCC. We kind of wanted to float around. I was only 21 at the time, so I just want to rack up as much experience as possible and not really get tied down. Whereas I might not get fights. If I pull ups, make it stuff difficult. So I just want to gain as much experience as possible. But after my 2 fights, I had a great reception. Had 2 first round TKOs, KOs, and PFL came. A lot of organizations came knocking at my door, but we didn't want to sign with them. But what PFL came with, I really couldn't say no to that. So as I said before, I'm only 22 years old, so I have time on my side. So I really want to grow as a fighter, and within PFL, I can grow as a fighter. That's one of the aspects that made me to sign with them. On the undercard, I'm the first fight in Paris. I'm going to be in the undercard in Dublin. As you just said, I'm going to be in the European tournament next year. Then I can move on to America, then do even more bigger things, be in the pay-per-view. So I can really see me growing in PFL. And they're going to give me favorable matchups to grow me as a fighter. They're not going to track me down in the deep end against one of their world class. They've had 30 plus fights. They're going to grow me as a fighter, which that's one thing I really need. I don't want to rush anything, and I'm not rushing in PFL. So that's why I chose PFL ultimately. And it's one of the biggest organizations in the world. Undeniably, I was gassed when their name popped up. I was like, oh my days, PFL actually know who I am. Yeah. So I was really gassed in that aspect. The publicity for it is amazing. They're on DAZN, they're on TV, their PR, their social media presence, outstanding. So I'm getting really clout from that. And I've even had a fight for PFL yet, and I'm really seeing a lot more exposure.
Yeah, that's good to see. So for the fans that maybe aren't so familiar with your fighting style, or maybe haven't seen you before, obviously I've watched your fights, some of the ones from the past with Sean O'Bannon and some others as well. And from your earlier days, if you like, to kind of your last couple of fights, there's been a huge improvement insofar as the striking's just getting so sharp and so quick and so spiteful. So for people tuning in to see Shanelle Dyer fight, what can they expect?
Yeah, so I put that down to my training partners at GB Top Team. They're living me up so much as a fighter. My fight IQ has grown so much the past year. I've been with GB Top Team. I'm really understanding myself better as a fighter. I know who I am as a fighter. I know my strength. I know my weaknesses, and I'm making my weaknesses my strengths. As I said before, I've been doing striking for about 10 years, and that's my comfort zone. I'm really experienced in that aspect. So my go-to is always going to be my striking. I love striking. My grappling's improved leaps and bounds as well. I just got my purple belt a few months ago. I fought on respectable platforms such as Polaris and other super fights. I've had jiu-jitsu fights and competition which I won. So I'm comfortable on the ground as well. And with my wrestling with Brad Pickett, he's one of the best wrestlers in the UK. I'm getting
Mhm.
PTs with him. He's really leveling up my game. So I really think of myself as a well-rounded fighter.
Yeah.
So I go into a fight thinking that wherever the fight goes, I'm comfortable in to win in those exchanges. But 100%, I'm gonna always label myself as a striker. I love making it exciting. I'm a fan of the sport. I don't wanna watch a fight or watch somebody stall and hug people for 25 minutes. I want people to brawl. So I don't want to be the type of person that hugs and stalls a fight. I want to make it exciting, like I would be watching myself fight. So I like to make it exciting. I like to go for the KO.
Hmm. So talking about fans of Shanelle Dyer, some people, the biggest is the mother, the father, sometimes the kids if they're a little bit older, further down the line.
Yeah.
How is it that Tom Hardy's a big fan of Shanelle Dyer?
Yeah, shout out Reog actually. That's Tom Hardy. He does collaboration with Reog. That's a charity for soldiers, people in the army when they finish their service, to give them a support and a type of community. So shout out Reog. And Tom Hardy, he does jiu-jitsu, so they've done a collaboration with jiu-jitsu and Reog. And I got the pleasure to be to represent Reog alongside him, and be on 2 commercials with him. And really, he's a fan of the sport. Like
Yeah.
MMA martial arts is a really small community. So,
Hmm.
and it's like when I did the commercial with him, we literally didn't talk about anything other than jiu-jitsu. Like it was like so relatable. That's why martial arts is one of the best sports in the whole world.
My God, stuff. So we'll move on to why Shanelle is called the Nightmare. And it's not because you're a terrible interviewer, I can tell you that much. So just to give people a bit of background in your story, if you don't mind, would you just touch on that for us?
Yeah, so the nightmare was my older brother's figure's Jared Shepherd's name. Unfortunately he passed away about just over 3 years now. He's really a staple in my early career. I didn't really know what I was gonna go in the MMA, but seeing him like training in the gym, I really looked up to him as like an older brother figure, really. Like I loved him in the gym, his energy and his spread, like literally you come down the door in the door and then everyone was like light up. He's one of the biggest hype man, who's like one of my biggest supporters as well, and it really meant such a lot to me. And he was in his professional career a lot on the domestic side. He was really going to be internationally, and he was one of the biggest prospects in the UK. But unfortunately, his life he got taken away from him short, and he was the nightmare. And we shared the same dream, like we was going to be the best fighter in the world. We used to always talk about it. So unfortunately, he can't live out his dream. So I took on the responsibility to bring both of us to the top, and that's what I'm doing.
Yeah, it's a beautiful thing, and it's nice, when you're talking
Yeah.
there, just to see the face kind of light up when you think back to those times. So, yeah, thanks for touching on that for us. So, shifting back to a slightly more cheery topic, we were talking about your fighting style earlier on. What does Shanelle Dyer do in her spare time when she's not throwing spinning back elbows and taking people's lights out?
Sleeping, sleeping. No,
Sleeping.
I'm a secret nerd. So like, I have my belts here, and literally right next to me, I just have like shelves of manga and anime. So I watch a lot of anime. I've watched it from a young age. It really inspires me, and that's one of the other things I'm really passionate about. Me and my friend, we really geek out and nerd about anime and shows like that. So that's one of my other passions. So it's literally just fighting, anime, manga, and McDonald's. I love McDonald's.
We all love a good Mackie.
The sponsorship's coming, is pending.
Yeah, it should well be
Work
on
in
its way
progress.
by now, definitely.
Yeah, work in progress.
So I think on that note, we'll say probably in the words of Dana White, if you don't know now, you know. Shanelle Dyer, this is a
100%.
journey that's just getting started. Can't wait to see you tear through the ranks and show the PFL exactly why they were right to invest in you. So thank you very much for joining Combat Sports UK. We appreciate your time and enjoy the rest of your evening.
Thank you. Thanks for having me as always. You too.
Thanks, Shanelle.